I used to work at the California Channel Islands in front of Santa Barbara where I live, and one of the projects that I worked on for way too long was ant eradication. So they were trying to restore the Channel Islands back to, before human settlement and really just rewild them and keep them pristine. And the most difficult species to remove, hands down, were the Argentinian ants. So all over California, we have these invasive Argentine ants, and they, on one boat or another, they'd made it over to the islands. And it's just like, how do you remove that? It's easy to remove pigs or sheep or whatever from an island because it's a closed off area, but trying to remove millions of ants, I mean, it's massively difficult.
The Channel Islands, I think it's the Channel Islands, used to be a big bow hunting destination.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because they used to have a bunch of different species that someone had brought over there at one point in time, like elk and deer, and they killed them all, like from a helicopter.
So there was elk on Santa Rosa, and then Santa Cruz, which is the biggest one, had sheep and pigs. I think goats as well back in the day. And then, even Catalina still has bison. And for a while, they opened up.
They're like farmed, right? They're not wild.
They're not wild. I mean, they're like semi-wild, right? They just reproduce, but it's all very managed. But for a while, they opened up like tag hunting, like come out and get your elk and get your pig.
Yeah.
But then eventually the state just said, like, we got to do something about it. And this was kind of interesting. The pigs on Santa Cruz Island. Have you heard about the Judas goat? Do you know what that is?
Yes.
Yeah. So they did.
Explain that.
Yeah, the Judas goat is what happens when you can't.
They did it in Galapagos, right?
I think so. I think that might be where it started. But the Judas goat is a process in which, say you're trying to eradicate goats from an island. Well, the goats wake up. They get aware that there's a helicopter buzzing overhead and somebody's shooting them, and they all start scattering and getting scared, and it becomes harder and harder to get the last 10%. So 10% of the work is eradicating 90% of the animals, and then 90% of the work is getting the last 10% of the animals. So they do this thing called a Judas goat, where they go and catch a goat, put a collar on it, and then let the goat go, and the goat finds its friends 100% of the time, and they mow down all of the other animals and leave the Judas goat, who then pops over to the next group of goats. So you're a real shitty friend if you're the Judas goat.
Or you're just dumb as shit and you're being manipulated by people.
True.
I think they castrate them too.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so the Channel Islands, they got rid of all the sheep, got rid of the goats, if there were goats, I'm not sure, turkey, a few other things, but they couldn't get rid of the pigs. And so they brought in hunters for a while. They opened it up. Pig guys came and shot them. And then they tried to get guys, like I think actually from Texas, to come and fly and shoot the pigs and stuff. And the Channel Islands, Santa Cruz Island in particular, is so canyonous and difficult. They're having a really hard time. And for whatever reason, they brought in these helicopter pilots from New Zealand who fly the fjords down there. And I was lucky enough to work on some of these projects. So I was actually in those helicopters going through these slot canyons and stuff. It was really cool. I wasn't doing any pig shooting. I was going in for ants, like I said, and weeds and some other stuff. And and the helicopter pilots and shooters from New Zealand were the ones who managed to take out the final pigs on Santa Cruz.
Pigs can have 3 litters a year.
Yeah.
That's what's nuts.
Well, we have, 6 million pigs in the United States now? They came from 11.
Is that real?
Yeah.
Wow.
11 pigs that were dropped off in the Florida, I think mainland Florida, maybe the Keys, but 11 pigs is what they believe.
And that was by the Spaniards, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Nuts.
Isn't that crazy?
I mean, that's crazy, but maybe it's even crazier the fact that they brought smallpox as well.